Good evening and welcome to Lovington Wildcat and Hobbs Eagle Soccer from the Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. Tonight on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, HobbsAmerica.com, and on the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. I'm TJ Miracle. Braden Cooper running camera tonight. A full sports night around Lee County. We got something for everybody on our family of streams and stations. Of course, right here on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, it is Lovington and Hobbs Soccer. On the Lovington Sports YouTube channel right now, my partner in crime, Don Morgan, has the Lovington Lady Cats taking on the Jowl Lady Panthers in volleyball, and coming up in just a little while on the Jowl Sports channel, it will be the Jowl Panthers taking on the Hobbs JV, a little Thursday night football for you. So something for everybody tonight on HobbsAmerica.com and on the respective teams' YouTube channels. So we get ready to start this one. The Hobbs Eagles are the defending 5A state champion under head coach Reyes Marcus. Of course, Coach Marcus was the head coach here at Lovington when they won 4A state a couple of years ago. Hobbs comes into this one at 4-1, and right now they are number 9 in the Max Preps rankings in Class 5A. So 4-1, had a pretty good season, and they're still finding their legs. They beat Artesia in the opener 2-1 before heading to Santa Teresa and dropping a heartbreaker to the Desert Warriors 1-0. That was the first game they had lost in over a year. Gadsden, then, they went over there and the Eagles beat the Panthers 2-0, then beat Mayfield 2-1, and the last game for the Eagles, they took it to Las Cruces High, a final of 3-0. On the other side of the ledger for the Lovington Wildcats under head coach Luis Aceves, number 12 right now in Class 4A in the Max Preps Matrix. They are 2-3 on the year, and their wins have been big uns as they blew out Ruidoso to open the season 6-0. They'll be playing Ruidoso again on Saturday here. We'll have that game for you on the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Then the Cats lost to Clovis 2-0. They played Los Lunas. I believe that was in a tournament, and if the Max Preps scoreboard is right, they blew out the Tigers 14-0. Yikes. Then they played Los Alamos, winning that one 1-0, and then dropping a heartbreaker to Clovis 3-2 in overtime. So that's how the Wildcats get to where they are, how the Eagles get to where they are, as the teams have been out warming up. The JV game taking place just a little while ago, and the Hobbs JV getting the 2-0 victory in that one. I'd like to say a big thanks to everybody who makes Hobbs Eagle Sports and Lovington Wildcat Sports possible. You see them there on the bottom of your screen. They make it possible for us to have the equipment and to do what it is we do here, and we certainly appreciate all of those great businesses for Hobbs and Lovington. Be sure you support those businesses that support your kids as we get ready for the start of this ball game for the visiting Hobbs Eagles. They are in the road white kits with the black letters and numbers and the gold trim. For the Lovington Wildcats, they are in the home blues with the white letters and numbers. As we get ready for the kickoff of this one, we're going to be looking at approximately 82 degrees, a little bit breezy here this afternoon, but not too bad. We're looking at winds out of the east-northeast, gusting up to 20 miles an hour. So a nice evening for a little soccer, a little football, if you will, from here in Lovington, high above Brian Urlacher Field at Wildcat Stadium. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight. So looking forward to this one, a Lee County matchup, a Lee County battle, as Lovington looks to go 500 on the year, and Hobbs looks to go to 5-1 and continue their Class 5A dominance. They're going to be introducing the teams here momentarily and doing the national anthem, so we will take a timeout for you and be back. It's Lovington and Hobbs on the soccer pitch this evening from the Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. And welcome back to Lovington as we get ready for the start of Lovington and Hobbs as the kickoff is mere moments away between the Cats and the Eagles. Your keeper tonight for the visiting Hobbs Eagles is senior Diego Castanon, the 6-foot, 145-pound senior keeper. Of course, kept the Eagles to a perfect season last year and a state championship for the Lovington Wildcats. Ivan Herrera is getting the start tonight. The freshman in place of Hayden Alexander, I understand, is a little bit banged up. So it's Lovington's ball as we will start this one off. Going to be very important, and there's a turnover immediately. Hobbs is going to push the advantage as they go to the left side, just a little bit too far out for Juan Camacho to do much about. Loses it, and so we will come back the other way. Hobbs, and a mark of most of the Coach Reyes teams is they are going to play very, very tough front field defense. They're going to try and intercept the ball just like we saw just then, and they're going to try and break somebody free down the field. And off of the free kick, it'll be Nathan Villalobos with it, but he'll turn it over and then left into the middle of the field and into the foot of Andrick Morales. Working towards the middle of the big cat, getting it over to Alexis Sanchez, one of the big strikers for the Eagles. Just working around midfield with Dylan Gallegos trying to feed it up. Hobbs will intercept it. Just underway here in the first. Lovington will get it back. Moving through is Gallegos. He'll put a shot on goal, but it will be wide and out of bounds, and it'll go over to the Eagles. Just underway in this one. 38 minutes remaining in the first half of play. No score yet in this one. As Castanon will just leave it off the foot, and coming over is Nathan Villalobos, the defender for the Eagles. The senior defender turned over in the middle, but regained immediately by Hobbs, feeding it up the near sideline. That'll be Gamez. Good tight defense for the Cats as Hobbs crosses the midfield. Again, Hobbs 4-1 on the season. Lovington 2-3. So side out, it'll be Lovington ball. So the Cats will throw it in. And Hobbs will immediately take it away. A little bit of a bump, and Lovington gets it right back. Slide tackle attempted, and Lovington will wind up with it, and sending it deep is Gallegos. Bouncing ball could be trouble as coming out of his net and making a grab is Diego Castanon. That one was trouble as Hobbs will immediately start trying to move it back down the other way. So Lovington with an early turnover giving Hobbs a chance, but they've had two pretty decent looks since then in the first 3 minutes of this contest. Back deep in the Hobbs defensive zone. And back over to Villalobos. As back down as Hobbs controls. Lovington's defense does a nice job getting it away from the Eagles. Now working the near sideline as Peyton Hernandez feeds a bouncing ball forward, and that one is going to go out of bounds, and it'll go back the way of the Eagles. After tonight, next up for Lovington, we'll be right back here on Saturday as the Cats take on Clovis. And I'll have to double check the game time on that one. I think it may have changed. Showing an 11:30 game time. I think they originally scheduled for 2:30. I'll double check with the athletic department on that. So the two teams just trying to feel each other out here as Alexis Sanchez with it, feeds it into the middle. Lovington will take it back off of his foot, and Sanchez will wind up with it in the middle of the field. Two Cat defenders on him back about the 20-yard line for the American football side of things. After tonight, next up for Hobbs will be next Tuesday at Chaparral, way down in the El Paso area. And off of the foot and out of bounds. It'll be Lovington ball on the side out. I'm TJ Miracle. Braden Cooper running the camera for us tonight. And on the inbound, goes pouncing past everybody, then off the back of the foot, and Lovington has a little bit of a run at it as Mendoza goes through in a nice save to get it away from him by Dylan Galindo. I try and get my rosters and my lineups settled in here. 5 minutes gone in the first half of play. Lovington inbound with Peyton Hernandez. Peyton will walk it up. He'll toss it in. Bouncing ball off the chest of Mendoza. Villalobos on him very tight. Lovington looking for a little room to work. Working it around is Adrian Ochoa. Now back over to Gallegos, trying to feed it cross net. Get it onto the far side. But not able to connect with Nava as Hobbs will come back on the attack. Now Bouncer, and Lovington winds up with it, sends it back towards their own cage. And Herrera will kick it away to safety. Now Lovington going to keep it on the ground off the foot of Hobbs. Then the Turf Monster gets one of the Eagle front men. And back on to Hobbs' foot with Sanchez. Both teams playing a little bit tight right now. Of course, as this goes on and you start seeing a little bit of fatigue set in, is when you'll get more of the open looks and the open runs. Coming down the near sideline is Villalobos. Villalobos with a couple of cats on him, very tight, sends it over to Gomez. Gomez trying to find somebody breaking through, and the ball will come back out to about the third of the field, and then the ball will be kicked away off of the foot of one of the Wildcats. I believe that was Mendoza. And so back to the Hobbs Eagles on the out. 33 to go, 7 minutes into the first half of play. We should play two 45-minute halves in high school soccer with a short halftime. As Villalobos will throw it in. Bouncer into a little bit of space. Moving up with it is Camacho. Camacho is going to be bodied off of the ball by Perez. And are they going to call the foul on Perez and give him the free kick? Ian Perez came up, made a good defensive play. And no call. It'll stay Lovington soccer. Sending it back into the field of play out near midfield. Bouncing it forward, trying to get it to Gallegos. Coming up the near sideline. It's a foot race, and he tangles up with Fabian Astorga, and the ball will go out. Didn't see which way the flag went, but I think it'll be Hobbs' ball as it goes out the back of the end zone, and it will be. As Castanon will send it in, then a whistle sounds. The officials telling them, nope, weren't quite ready yet, so you got to send it back in. So it'll be Hobbs' ball. Is Castanon on the free kick. We'll just send a little squibber near side to Villalobos. Villalobos back to one of his defensive partners. That's Astorga. Looking for a little room, and he'll kick one. It'll go out in front of the Lovington bench. Lovington will take it right back as Abraham Rodriguez will send it out on the far side. So Hobbs will throw it in from what would be the 10-yard line or so on the regular football field. Of course, soccer field 120 yards long as opposed to 100. Lovington works it on the far sideline. Hobbs will take it back. Lovington and Hobbs battling on the far side. Cats and the Eagles going at it here this evening from Wildcat Stadium. And there's one. If it is off the foot, that could be trouble. On the run is Sanchez. Sanchez has to pull up, sends a little squibber inside and into the goal and into the net. And the Hobbs Eagles have struck first. As off of the foot, I believe that was Raul Morales. Let me double check that. Turn around, young man, so I can catch your number. Pardon me, and it was Morales with the goal. So one shot on goal, and Morales will get it at the 14:36 mark of the first, and will put Hobbs up 1-0. So just found a little soft spot. Lovington's defenders had pulled up a little bit, and Morales got in and was able to come through. The junior striker for the Eagles gives Hobbs the first tally in this one. Turnover at midfield. Hobbs coming back the other way with Gamez. Gamez trying to feed it forward. Nice slide tackle made by the Cats. But it'll come back to Hobbs as they keep trying to work their way in. Looking for a little space is Sanchez. Sanchez with the roller over towards the far side of the cage. Hobbs will keep it in the corner and then be kicked out by Lovington. Should be corner kick for Hobbs. So now Hobbs will have their first set play of the match early on in this one. 15 minutes gone in the first. So it was a corner kick that won Hobbs a hotly contested playoff game last year, as that one will go towards the middle, and Hobbs trying to get the header in. It'll come out, and then that one is sent well over the cage by Morales. Morales was all by himself on the far left wing. Just got under it a little bit and sailed it through. Unlike in football, if you kick it through the uprights here, you don't get 3 points for it. But they had him wide open. Got to watch out if you were the Wildcats. So the Eagles tally first, lighting the lamp at 14:36 of the first. Lovington trying to send it back as Astorga for Hobbs. Moves it around. Hobbs will just volley it, dribble it midfield. Now they'll try and come in. Bad pass. Lovington going to wind up with it as Herrera comes out of the cage, and he will roll it over to the near side to Sigala. Sigala gets it taken off of his foot. Hobbs on him very tight. This was hockey. That'd be a forecheck. It was off the foot of Villalobos. That one will come side out on the near side and back to Lovington. 1-0. Hobbs in the lead. 29-13 remaining here in the first half. Hobbs a top 10 5A team again this season. Under Coach Reyes Marcus, they are the defending 5A champs. Lovington with a good playoff run last year under Luis Aceves is still the coach right now in the Max Preps rankings. They are number 12 in 4A. Lovington putting on some pressure in the Hobbs defensive zone, and finally going to just be booted away as Astorga and Dylan Gallegos getting into it, and I think we're going to have a yellow card. Yes, we will. Yellow card issued as Astorga and Gallegos going at it. Who did they give the yellow to? I think they gave it, they gave it to Gallegos. So Gallegos with the yellow card, and they were telling him he's trying to plead his case that his jersey was being held. The official didn't see that, but he did see the retaliation. So the game misconduct penalty is Astorga going to have to go out. Coming in his place will be Alejandro Presado, pardon me. I can't read my own handwriting. But it'll be Hobbs' ball on the free kick back around the 12-yard line. So the 22-yard mark on the soccer pitch. Clock continues to move with 27 minutes to go. So the yellow card issued to Dylan Gallegos as he heads to the bench. So that takes out one of Lovington's better strikers. Well, let's see if Lovington can use that to maybe motivate and fire up a little bit. Lovington with the ball as Mendoza, near sideline, weaves through traffic, gets it around Villalobos. He'll send it wide of the cage. Still no shots on goal for Lovington. They've had a couple that have been in the neighborhood, but no shots on goal. Hobbs with only one shot on goal, and it found the back of the net. Now Lovington will intercept it. That is Preciado, who checked in. Working it around the midfield. The wings working hard, very hard. Good slide tackle. But back into the possession of Hobbs. Hobbs looking for some room, taking it out to the far side. That is Gamez. Feeds it back across the middle. Ooh, very dangerous. If Sanchez can get that clean, he has got an unfettered look pretty much at Herrera. Hobbs still with it, and a long shot put in, and that one will go wide and out on the right side of the Cat net, and it'll go back to Lovington. Free kick. So as we mentioned, up next for Lovington, it'll be Clovis on Saturday night here. Hobbs next Tuesday against Santa Teresa. And again, I will check the time on that Clovis match on Saturday. Of course, we've got a lot more sports for you this week. Walmart Digital, One Radio Square, our family of stations. The Lovington football team Be in action tomorrow as that one sent towards the cage. A bouncer. As coming out is Castanon, and he gets blasted. A huge collection and a huge collision. Castanon winds up with the ball, but he's up and he's okay. The official going to come over and have a word with one of the Lovington players on the collision, make sure he's okay. It'll be Hobbs' ball. So back to Hobbs, leading 1-0, 25-26 remaining here in the first. Of course, as we were mentioning, for the Hobbs football team, they'll be tomorrow night here on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, HobbsAmerica.com, Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Ty and Ron over in Roswell. The Eagles taking on the Carlsbad Cavemen for Lovington's football team. They will be in action tomorrow night over in Carlsbad in the Cave City, looking to go 3-0. Don Morgan, yours truly. We'll have that for you. Lovington Sports YouTube, HobbsAmerica.com, Z94 Facebook page, and on Z94 KZOR. Eunice Cardinals, they're playing tomorrow night. They are on the road at New Mexico Military. So Jimmy and the crew up at Nimmy tomorrow night. And the Tatum Coyotes will be taking on the Clayton Yellow Jackets, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Tatum Sports YouTube. Dusty and Ava will have that one for you. So on the throw-in, Hobbs will kick it out of harm's way, and a bouncing ball. Lovington getting back, trying to handle it as Camacho with it. Takes it to the right side. It's a foot race. It'll be an odd angle going for it there. Hobbs looking for a little room. They'll center it, and that one will be booted away into safety by Gallegos. So it'll be a side out, and it'll be Hobbs' ball. Question is, will it just be a throw-in, or will it be a corner kick? If you give them too many opportunities, they will make you pay for them. I think we're waiting to see where the ball was. As Herrera going to go over and collect that one. Back on the fencing by the scoreboard. They're going to just say throw in for Villalobos. Will not be a corner kick. So it'll be a throw in deep in the Lovington defensive zone. Hobbs offense trying to strike again, leading this one 2-0. The throw in, that one skitters through, but it'll come off the feet of the Wildcats. And then back towards midfield. There's Salas will handle it, bounce it around off of the chest. Centering pass knocked out to safety by Ochoa, and then back out to Hobbs. Hobbs will send it in deep once again. The teams battle in the middle of the field, and then, the referee caught it, I'm going to say in the breadbasket. It might have been a bit lower, but he will call the timeout and give Lovington the free kick. Referee interference, if you will. So they'll put it back in play with 22.5 minutes to go here in the first half. A 1-0 Hobbs lead. Hobbs will take it back, moving it back towards midfield. Lovington just dropping a couple of guys back in defense, playing a lot of guys up. Not time to really start sending the extra attacker just yet. The two teams just kind of trading the ball a little bit right now around midfield. Just burning a little time off the clock. Sanchez will shovel it over to the far left side, as Hobbs will continue to control. Lovington takes it back towards the middle of the field. And then into traffic and a collision, and Hobbs will get it back on the bump. They'll come near side with it now. Eagles on the run, going up the far side with Gamez. Gamez back towards the middle, stepping in and knocking that one away. Good defense there by the Wildcats to send that one out of harm's way, as Villalobos will come in for another throw-in. Double check that young man's number there. Taking that one out of harm's way was Abraham Rodriguez, the junior defenseman. Villalobos throws it in again. And a bad angle shot, but it could be trouble. It's a bouncer, and the shot by Sanchez is deflected and saved by Herrera. His first save of the night. Second shot on net put in by the Eagles. Comes at the 20-minute mark here in the first. 1-0. That one will go out off Lovington in front of the Hobbs bench. It'll be a throw-in for the Eagles. So they'll toss that one in off of the head of Sanchez. As the Cats looking for some room, Hobbs has done a very nice job putting on the pressure when they've had it deep in the zone. Villalobos with it, gets around a man, but loses it under a little bit of pressure. As on him very tight, the Cats playing tough as Alejandro Mendoza, midfielder, and striker too. He and Villalobos going at it. It'll go out, and it will be Hobbs' ball. Some subs coming in, fresh legs for the Wildcats. And some fresh legs coming in for the Eagles too. We'll catch those for you as we can. The official blows the whistle, says, all right, boys, let's get back to play. So Villalobos throws it in to Andrick Morales, who will then feed it on the far side to Giancarlo Castanon. And back out towards midfield where Galindo will take it. A little bump from behind. He maintains control. Then up to Sanchez. Weaves through three Cats and then sends one on goal, and that one barely saved by Herrera. It's tipped, and it'll go out of bounds and stay Hobbs' ball. Dangerous from out about 30 yards. I'm not sure Herrera was quite ready for that. He gets the credit for the save. And Sanchez sends another one on goal. And Herrera saves it. So the throw in for the Eagles as they look to press the advantage here. Preciado trying to get it out of harm's way, sends it back towards Herrera, who just kind of pops it out. Back to around the 30-yard mark. Lovington with a couple of good looks in the first 5-6 minutes of the ball game, but since then, on the offensive side of things, it has really been all Hobbs. A long bouncer goes in. That one could be trouble. Just a little bit off of the foot of Gallegos, who's back in, and then a shot across the net, but wide by Gallegos. And then another one, a header, it goes in! Light the lamp as the Cats have knotted this one at one apiece. Dylan Gallegos at 18:08 on the clock in the first, and we are knotted at 1-1. Lovington found a way in and put it in. So that would be the 27:52 mark of the first. Dylan Gallegos, the junior striker, off of the header, knots this one up at one apiece. So the Cats looking a little flat, but they find a little momentum, and then a good play set up in front. And we have the tying tally and a slide tackle on the far sideline as Nava battling with Morales. Hobbs going to try and send another one deep inside, and we will have the tackle as Preciado tangling up with Camacho. And it'll be a free kick on the minor penalty for Camacho from the 50-yard mark, roughly, as he'll send that one deep in towards the cage, and off of the head of a Wildcat, it goes in, as Camacho is going to get credit for the goal, but it actually went off the head of one of the Wildcats, an own goal. Ouch. And so just like that, the Hobbs Eagles get a tally back. And this one will come at the 28:40 mark of the first. You hate to see that one as Hobbs will light the lamp and go back up 2-1 on the own goal. So we'll put that one in the tally book of Camacho because no other Hobbs player touched it. But that one hurts, as that'll be a deep bouncer, but Lovington with nobody in to try and corral it, as Castanon will take it. As we click down under 17 minutes to go here in the first half, 2-1. Hobbs in the lead on the tally sheet. As the Eagles going to send one over onto the far side in a bump, and the ball stayed in bounds. As Hobbs will take it back, looking for some room. Going out to the far left wing and sending that one in, and that one will go high and wide left. As Alex Gamez not able to get a better angle shot. Didn't get close enough to the cage to tally a shot. Hobbs now with just 3 shots on goal. That 4 shots on goal. Let me double count that. Yeah, 4 shots on goal, and they have the 2-1 advantage. On the corner kick towards the center. Kicked away nicely by the Wildcats as Preciado waits for it. Heads it over to the far side, and then it'll be booted out of harm's way back towards midfield. Off of the head of one of the Eagles, it'll come out. That was Galindo off of his head. And it'll be corralled by Lovington, who will then toss it in. As Mendoza and Gomez fight in the middle of the pack and out, so it'll go to Hobbs now. As Villalobos, he'll throw it in from roughly the midfield stripe. So he will pull the trigger on the inbound. It bounces over one Eagle, but another Eagle winds up with it. It's a foot race on the far sideline. Alex Sanchez with it, and then it'll go out of bounds. And last touch by Lovington should be a corner kick for Hobbs, so another opportunity for them with the set play. Clock continues to move. We are at the 15-minute mark. Of course, that's the thing about soccer. The clock never stops. You will get a little extra time at the end of each half to take account of some of the stoppage in play. So on the corner kick, it'll be Alexis Sanchez. He's got 2 shots on goal. He'll send that one towards the middle, and a high header, and that one goes over the back of the cage, but another shot attempted by the Eagles. As the free kick will come in. Turn around, young man, so I can get your number so I can mark that down properly. So Astorga with the shot. And then the ball goes out into the Hobbs bench. Lovington, their turn on it. Lovington, 3 shots on goal. Make that 1, 2, 3, make that 4 shots on goal. And one of them has found the back of the net. And on the inbound, goes bouncing around in the Lovington offensive zone. Hobbs gets it back, though, back out near midfield. They'll get it back to Villalobos, who boots it onto the Hobbs side of the ledger, and then the ball will go out. And it'll be Hobbs' ball from right at the midfield stripe. 13:30 to go here in an exciting, fast-moving first half. Hobbs leading Lovington 2-1. I'm TJ Miracle. Braden Cooper running camera for us this evening. It's out around midfield once again. 3 Cats to 2 Eagles. The Cats come up better of that one, but a little bump and out of bounds as Salas bumps Nava. So it'll stay Lovington ball. Well, the Cats will inbound from between the benches. Throwing it up the far sideline. Mendoza trying to get to it, and that one will go out off of one of the Eagles. Little collision down there, and Nava not feeling too good, but he's up, he's tough. Ready to go once again. Now Lovington to inbound it from north of their own bench. Cats are moving from south to north. Hobbs moving north to south. Deep inside the Eagle defensive zone. That one out off of one of the Eagles. I believe that was Galindo again. So Lovington trying to put on some sustained attack and get this one tied back up at 2 apiece. 2-1 Hobbs in the lead on the throw-in. Very dangerous. Hobbs gets it out, and then a little bouncer towards the middle. Could have been dangerous. Hobbs blocked it off. Another opportunity to send it into the middle, but Hobbs just clogging up all the lanes on the Wildcats. Nothing they can do about it. So Lovington will move back out near midfield to try and regroup. Little scoop pass and a little pop-up onto the far sideline. That one going to be knocked down on the far side by Lovington. But then a bad pass, and Hobbs takes it back, but Lovington immediately tries to get it right back on the far side, and it will go out. Lovington very quickly gets it back in on the attack, and they know they're putting the pressure on. That one right on the back line. Still on the back line. Hobbs tries to kick it out of harm's way, and will kick it off of a Wildcat and out of the back of the goal zone. And it'll be free kick for the Eagles with 11 minutes to go, first half. So been an entertaining game. Neither team yet has found a whole lot of offensive rhythm. But Hobbs leads this one 2-0. They have taken advantage of their 5 shots on goal by putting 2 in the back of the net. As the teams work on the far sideline, Hobbs with it, trying to send a scorcher to Sanchez. Sanchez, a little stutter step as he works against Perez. Towards the back of the end zone and out. Give it back to the Wildcats. Of course, Ivan Herrera, the keeper tonight. Understanding subbing in for Aiden Alexander, who's a little banged up, their normal starting keeper. And a bump as Gamez takes it down. He sends one across, and good crossing, trying to go from right to left and knocked away by Astorga, or pardon me, by Sigala. He did a nice job taking that one out of harm's way. And sends it out, but it'll give Hobbs an opportunity at a set play with a corner kick, their third of the evening. Nine and a half remaining here in the first half. So Hobbs preparing for the corner kick. That one will come across the front of the net, headed out of harm's way for the moment by the Wildcats. Then a long shot in on goal, and that one going to be stopped by Herrera. As the shot put in by Gamez. Lovington will try and bring it back the other way. Goes off the foot of the Cats. So back to the Eagles. A little spin move for Sanchez as he finds some room as the Turf Monster claim one. Then a bouncer, and Herrera has to dive and gets a hand on that one. As Gamez put one in from about 40 yards out, and it was on the mark. Herrera doing a nice job to get a hand on that one to deflect it away. Eagles are not afraid to take the longer opportunity if they think they can. That one comes over everybody and will come out. Side out to the Eagles. With right about 8 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. And Villalobos from near midfield will send it back in. Overthrows his intended target into a crowd of Wildcats. The ball just comes bouncing back around. Hobbs taking it and trying to find a little room, and a long pop shot. Herrera going to come over and get it. That'll be the third shot for Gamez officially, because it did go on goal. Not what he intended to do, but sometimes that can work just as well. And Lovington plays it back into the deep into their defensive zone, back to Herrera. Pardon me, who then immediately sends it on to the top of the Hobbs covering over their bench. So it'll be Hobbs' ball in front of their own bench. Throw in far side, looks to be Sanchez. Yep, that's a 10. Stupid trifocals. Sanchez waits to throw it in as the clock hits 7 minutes remaining. Lovington will immediately get a foot on it, just send it right back out. And they're going to say came off a Hobbs, so it'll be Lovington ball. The win over on the far sideline. And then out. Stays Lovington ball. So on the throw-in, headed away by Almanza. For the Eagles, Lovington trying to find a little space. Cats come across the middle, then a slide tackle. And Hobbs takes that one away, but right in back to Lovington. But then Hobbs, another tackle, and Galindo took it away, but they are going to call the foul on Galindo. It'll be a free kick from the 35-yard mark for the Wildcats. Well, if you're watching the video like it's on the 25, TJ, I know, but there's 10 extra yards in soccer. So the free kick will be sailed by Matthew Contreras. So the junior D-man on the set play. Let's see what the Cats want to do, and they'll just send that one right on, and the off of the goalpost, ding-dong, as Segala puts it off the top of the post. And the fiberglass goalkeeper will get credit for another save, or rather for that save. In hockey, they always say the steel pipes act as an extra goalkeeper, and so the fiberglass ones in soccer would be just the same. As that one will go out, it'll be Hobbs' ball, but Lovington with a golden opportunity off of that free kick to tie things up. Lovington ball deep in the Hobbs zone as that one's going to be kicked away. As coming to the near side, and that one will be out and give it back to the Wildcats. 2-1, Hobbs in the lead. We're at 4:55 remaining. Sending one through, and almost trouble, and it will wind up being trouble as collapsing down on it is Castanon. 6th shot for the Wildcats. As Nava sent that one on his way, he led Gallegos, who has Lovington's tally a little bit far, and allowed Castanon to get to it. He'll send the free ball away with 4.5 to go and out of bounds and into the stands. So retrieved and by the fans and back out. Pretty fair crowd on hand here this evening, Lee County soccer matchup. As Hobbs trying to get another deep penetration, and we will have a penalty called as Gamez, who's already got 3 shots on goal, got pushed from behind, and he'll have a free kick. Well, they're just going to say it went out of bounds, so no harm, no foul. Yeah, it's off the side of the foot there of Gamez. No shot attempt. Goes out. It'll be Lovington ball. 3:45 remaining here in the first half. Hobbs with the 2-1 lead. As the Cats will send it back out to midfield. On the free kick. There's a cat and an eagle. A couple of them battle on the far sideline. In soccer, clock always moves. 3:20 remaining here in the first. Hobbs back to the near sideline. Running is Camacho. Takes it back to the center of the field, then back to Sanchez. Sanchez to Camacho. Camacho with it. Battles in the middle of the field and gets his pocket picked as the Cat's going to come back the other way. Bouncing ball up the middle of the field and slid and knocked away. Heads up play by Castanon, who came out of the cage and just said, nope, we'll just send that one out, send it out of harm's way, and go from there. 2:45 remaining. Plus whatever extra time they choose to put up here in the first half. It will be Lovington ball. They will have it deep inside their offensive zone. Or are they going to call corner kick? Yeah, it'll be a corner kick for the Cats. That'll be their first. So that's Michael Nava on the corner kick. First set play for the Cats. It's a spinner into the middle, knocked out on the header by Hobbs, but back, and then a shot on goal too high and out by Nava. Or pardon me, that wasn't Nava. That may have been Perez. Turn around, young man, so I can see your number. That was Josue Gomez who sent that one high. Gomez playing basically a little bit of center field there, sends that one high. And bouncing down the other way as we are down to the 2-minute mark remaining here in the first half. Hobbs and Lovington battling as that one will go out right at the corner kick flag. Hobbs ball into the middle, a big bump, and should be Lovington ball on the minor penalty, the minor foul. So you expect to see, maybe not so much here at the end of the first, but especially as we get into the second, expect to see a whole lot more physical play. As back deep into Hobbs' zone. Goes out in front of the Lovington bench. Handled over there by Coach Aceves, who gives it back to his team. Lovington will throw it back in. And onto the foot of Barunda, who's in the game now. As we are at about the 1-minute mark remaining in the first half. Plus whatever stoppage time we happen to have. So into the middle and off of the head, and a shot up, and Gallegos is denied on another save by Castanon. Found a little room right in the middle and put a great shot on goal. Castanon just denied him. So now Hobbs going to try and get a late tally here in the first. As that'll be a bouncer, it could be a running shot, and a nice job on the other end of things on the 10th shot by Herrera to stop that one. Has got that one on Camacho. So back now, Sanchez to the middle of the pitch. Back to Camacho. As we are into extra time now. Lovington on the run with Barunda. Crosses the midfield stripe. And the ball going to be bumped away and out. Lovington's fans hollering, come on, pick it up, pick it up. I don't know how much extra time they added. And, yep, that'll be it, as it's approximately 35 seconds of extra time. So we have played a half from here at Wildcat Stadium. The Hobbs Eagles leading the Lovington Wildcats 2-1 as we head to halftime. And then the second half, the official bringing a couple of the captains over to talk to him. I think maybe about some of what they've seen out there on the play. Just trying to calm everything down. As they were talking out there to Gallegos and also Sanchez, or pardon me, Astorga. So 2-1 is our score as we head to the half. We'll be back as Lovington and Hobbs soccer continues from Lovington, from New Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. And welcome back to Lovington. The Hobbs Eagles and the Lovington Wildcats out on the soccer pitch tonight here on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, the cool 95.7 Facebook page, and HobbsAmerica.com. I'm TJ Miracle. Great to have you with us for this Lee County battle. Hobbs right now with the 2-1 lead as we get ready to start the second half. Hobbs' tallies coming at the 14:36 mark off the foot of Raul Morales, and then coming at the 28:40 mark off of Juan Camacho. Hobbs putting up 10 shots in that first half. Lovington putting up 7 shots, and their tally coming at the 22:57 mark from striker Dylan Gallegos. So now 2-1 as we put 40 minutes on the clock and get ready for the second half of action. So here we go. It'll be Hobbs ball as we flip ends of the field. And the Eagles and the Cats will go right back at it. So the bouncing ball off of the chest of Camacho. Lovington will take it right back with Barunda. Yeah, that's the 9. That's Barunda. But it'll be Hobbs' ball as they will feed it forward. Camacho taking it back. Hobbs trying to put a little early pressure on into the middle. Camacho not ready for it. Comes off the back of one of his teammates. Lovington, a good hustle play, comes over and will take that one away, and it'll come out near midfield. And so it'll be Hobbs on the throw-in on the side out. Eagles picking it up with Dominique Salas. So Salas to toss it in as it'll come in. And trying to find a little space is Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez to Camacho, taking it wide out on the left wing. And then it'll go out. Stays Hobbs' ball, putting a little pressure on early. Just a minute gone here in the second half. 2-1, Hobbs in the lead. Well, the inbound to Camacho, but taken away by the Wildcats. Peyton Hernandez sends a long one cross the field to Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to tiptoe the sideline up in front of the Hobbs bench, but can't keep it in. So back to the Eagles as Villalobos will toss it in over on that side. Now it'll be out, and it stays Hobbs' ball. As the lights come on here at Wildcat Stadium. Of course, we got to double-check the schedule. I do believe we will be back with you here on Saturday for the Wildcats. As a whistle sounds, we've got a minor penalty, minor stoppage. Be a free kick for Hobbs. Over on that far side, looks like it'll be Gamez to boot it. As a long one towards the net and a save. Gamez has his 4th shot, 11th shot overall for the Eagles as they continue to try and put the pressure on here early in the second half. 2-0 the tally. Hobbs centering pass and knocked away. Lovington drops the man back in defense. Then he'll just send one out into no man's land and back to the Eagles. In and amongst a whole bunch of Wildcats. I think Hobbs going to be content just to try and see if they can move around. Lovington has got 4 defensemen back. Pretty much just keeping an eye and an ear on things back there. Lovington trying to keep from having another goal given up. Coach Aceves playing a little bit more on the defensive side here. Hobbs will take it back, and we'll just have one that'll squirt down and should go out the back line, and it will. So it should be Lovington ball. And it will be, and it'll be a free kick from in front of the net. As Ian Perez, the defenseman, will send it down the field. 4 minutes gone here in the second half of play. Of course, over on the Lovington Sports YouTube channel tonight, the Lovington Lady Cats playing the Jowl Lady Panthers. Big volleyball match over there. It was late in the first, and I think Lovington did win that one, 27-25. As a bouncer down, Lovington going to try and take advantage, and a header going to go wide. And I heard a whistle sound. Are we going to have a foul, or is it just out? Side judge is pointing, but the Cats got somebody behind the defense. That was Nava. Nope, they're going to say just out, so it'll be Hobbs' ball. But Nava got behind the Hobbs defense and had a nice shot and moving that one through. And so the Eagles will put it back into play with Castanon. Up towards midfield. Again, the Eagles going to be content just to move things around. Play keep away here for a little while. 5 minutes gone here in the second half. A one-tally lead, though, not going to be enough, I don't think, in this one. 2-1, Hobbs in the lead. That one goes all the way back towards Castanon, as he'll send that one up and away and temporarily out of harm's way. Lovington going to look and see if they can find some way to get some pressure. They've gotten some opportunities, but they haven't consistently had Hobbs back on their heels. Hobbs is spending a lot more time in the Lovington offensive zone. As side out over to the Eagles. Of course, tomorrow night on the football field, the Gridiron. Hobbs will be in Roswell taking on the Coyotes. Ty friend Ron Gunter on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel and on Cool 95.7. On the Lovington Sports YouTube channel, Don Morgan and a shot in, and that one taken away before it could ever get into the middle, as Lovington did a nice job clogging up the middle and taking away that shooting lane for Castanon. Don Morgan, yours truly, though, tomorrow, Lovington Sports YouTube channel. And Z94 KZOR, Lovington at Carlsbad on the Gridiron. And on the throw-in, dangerous territory for the Wildcats, and they'll just boot it away. Back out towards midfield, and Hobbs will retreat and take it back and start their regrouping effort. There's Adric Morales to the far side. Lovington bounces it forward. Hobbs is just all over the field right now. Lovington has not found a lot of breathing room in and amongst the Eagles. As Morales from Castanon back to Morales, and then it'll come, nope, doesn't come out, as it'll be bumped by Barunda. Barunda stays in. Sends it forward to his forward. That's Mendoza. Mendoza looking for some room in the middle. Puts one off the side of his foot, and it'll be a foot save in the middle for Castanon. So sends it back out. 8 minutes gone here in the second half. And a run now for the Eagles. Sanchez taking the left side. Tries the centering pass, and it'll wind up out of bounds as Lovington boots it away. Very dangerous as Sanchez forced the turnover, and instead of taking the wide angle shot, tried to center it up. Should have gone for the bad angle, but I know that's not what you're taught to do. So the centering pass booted away, and so it'll be Hobbs' ball deep inside the Lovington defensive zone. And on the throw-in to the middle, Hobbs going for a set play. Barunda winds up with it. Ticks it off of his foot and now dribbled around by Gamez. A little bouncer in, and that one no good. His fifth shot of the match. Pretty good save percentage in there for the freshman keeper, Ivan Herrera. He stopped 10 of 12. Hobbs leading this one 2-1. There's the ball out again. And back to Hobbs. We'll have some subs checking into the game as Hobbs has taken down their tents with the sun finally down. And some fresh legs coming on for both squads as reinforcements checking in. As Villalobos will toss that one in off of the head of one of the Eagles. Winds up in the middle and on the foot of the Wildcats. Send a bouncer down. Lovington trying to find a little room to run, a little slide, and taken away by Galindo. Glendo back into the middle and sends it over onto the far side. Hobbs trying to get the attack going again. Working towards the middle of the field. Lovington clogs it up, ball loose, and booted away by one of the Lovington defenders. I believe that was Mendoza. Now back out at around the 30-yard mark. Two teams just going to play back and forth. Gamez taking it again back to the middle of the field, looking for something, and a long shot, and that one is going to be over the net. Might have ticked the crossbar there, but Gamez puts another one on net, and that one would have been very hard. But a good eye there from Herrera to notice that it was probably going to go just high. But Hobbs missing a long-range opportunity there. And Lovington breathing a sigh of relief. Still a one-goal lead for the Eagles. The Wildcats going to try and get some sustained pressure. But Hobbs will take it right back. And then off of the foot of a sliding Contreras. Then a centering pass trying to get it in, and that'll be a bouncer and just wide as Herrera will get the save on the far side. As checking the number down there, was that Castanon again? I can find that kid. Pardon me, that was Gamez. Yeah, Gamez has had 7 shots on goal now. Hasn't managed to find the back of the net just yet, but Hobbs continues to apply the pressure, and it will be a corner kick now for the Eagles. And it'll be a sidewinder in and off of the hands, a good save. Once again by Herrera, the freshman keeper. Another bouncer in, and that one is going to get through, and the tally is made as Gamez will get that one at the 11:59 mark of the second. And just the bouncer, Gamez had sent another one in. He's had 9 shots now and finally finds the back of the net on one and gives the Eagles the 3-1 lead. You had the feeling that it was just a matter of time before Hobbs managed to light the lamp once again, as they have been putting on all sorts of pressure that the Cats have the defense has played well, but have not been able to respond offensively. At some point, if you're the Cats, probably in about the next 5 to 7 minutes, if your tally stays right here, you're going to have to think about bringing another attacker up just to maybe see if you can give yourself some more pressure. Lovington generally only sending 3 and 4 guys into the attacking zone, while Hobbs is often sending 6. And that one will go out, and it'll go back to Hobbs. And a little frustration, I think, mounting on the part of the Wildcats. So back to Hobbs with 28 minutes remaining in this 40-minute period. Oh, and a huge tackle and collision as Preciado goes and takes 2 Eagles down. They're going to keep it on Hobbs, give them the free kick. Preciado collided with Raul Morales, who got a tally early, and also Camacho. So now it'll be Salas. Brings it up. Good pressure on the inside again from Preciado. It'll go out. Stays Hobbs' ball, but again, Hobbs moving in and putting on the pressure, and now they've got the insurance tally they wanted, 3-1. Looks like they'd love nothing more than maybe to get another one on the board as Sanchez sends that one in a collision, and Lovington going to just try and boot that one out of harm's way. As Mendoza leaves it in the middle of the field, now to the near side, trying to get it to Nava, but Hobbs will take it away. Back to Villalobos on the far side. Villalobos thinks about the big swing and then decides, we'll just keep it right here. And then we will have a big swinger. Hobbs coming and attacking. Almanza into the middle, looks at it, and that one is going to be blocked by Preciado. Takes it off of the back and trying to save it and managing to save it. Good hustle play for the Wildcats and Preciado. Lovington will send it into the zone. Again, 3 defenders back for Hobbs. Just 1 attacker for the Cats. That was, Mendoza. So into the middle of the pitch. Lovington just takes it away. As on the far sideline, Lovington looking for a little room to run. And it'll go out on the far side. Again, I apologize for getting temporarily lost. Sorry, with the renovations going on at down at Panther Stadium in Jowl, they had a little trouble finding a place to plug in, but the Jowl game should be up and going now on the Jowl Sports YouTube channel. So Adam and the crew down there finding a place to plug in. So Lovington will send it deep into the Hobbs zone. That one could be trouble as Castanon will come out of the cage and just grab one, a long bouncer up by Preciado for their 10th shot, as it was on goal. But now 25 minutes remaining on the clock in this Lee County battle. Hobbs soccer team trying to get a little revenge on the blue turf from the football team. Now Lovington putting on a little pressure. That one bounces through. Could be trouble. And a collision right in front of the net. Lovington wanting the foul. Not going to get it as that one will sail well out on the far sideline. Don't think Lovington's going to get a penalty kick from right there. They would love to, but I don't think they're going to. As Michael Nava had position, and a Hobbs defender came over and took him off the ball. And then Hobbs swatting it away and out. Now Lovington can work almost like a set play as that one towards the net. In front, Hobbs taking it away. Going to try and take it out of harm's way. And that one will be a high shot as it came back to a wide open Wildcat who sends it over the cage. And that was Preciado, who found himself with it right on his foot and just towed it a little bit high. So Hobbs dodging a bit of a bullet right there. So Hobbs back on the offensive attack into the middle of the field with Preciado. Send it away and nobody touches. It'll go out. It'll be Hobbs. In this second half, Lovington attacking to the south, Hobbs attacking to the north. Wind's blowing out of the southeast this evening. Beautiful evening for soccer or any outside activity. Hope we get it this nice tomorrow. As it'll be Hobbs' ball inside the Lovington defensive zone. As the ball retrieved behind the Wildcat bench. And on the bounce in, Hobbs will have it. And working and sending a long bouncer, knocked away in the middle by Lovington. Hobbs going to keep the pressure up as Hobbs has got 7 attackers in. They're bringing the pressure when Lovington has got guys on their attack. They're usually only bringing 5. They're going to have to bring somebody up here with 23 minutes to go. They've got to find a way to get some sustained pressure. Hobbs' defense, I say that, and it's easy to say, Hobbs' defense has done a good job keeping them from getting sustained pressure. Three to 1 is the score, and of course the Cats got to be thinking it should be 3-2. They did have an own goal. That one's going to be just forget about that one. But you learn the lessons in pre-district. And Hobbs learning some lessons. Lovington has not played poorly on the defensive end, and the freshman keeper so far has stopped 15. Or rather, has stopped 12 of the 15 that's come his way. There's a battle on the far side, and it will be Lovington ball in front of their own bench. Clock continues to roll, as it always does in soccer. 22 minutes to go, 40-minute halves, and a little bit of extra time, too. As the ball comes in, Hobbs gets it back. Preciado is going to squirt it out of Hobbs' way, but Villalobos gets right to it. He'll bounce it through. He takes a wide-angle shot, and that one finds its way to the back of the net. Light the lamp for Villalobos. At 19-14 of the second, Villalobos off of the turnover sends a wide one in and a bad angle shot, and nothing Herrera could do about it. He wasn't expecting it from that angle. And Hobbs stretches the lead now to 4-1. So 4-1 now for the Eagles on Villalobos. The senior defenseman comes up and bangs one home. And now back to the Cats. Now they are really playing from behind with a three-goal deficit to come back from. There's the bouncer in as Hobbs just going to head that one away. Halfway mark upcoming of this half. On Carlos Castanone. Back to Alexis Sanchez. And then the boot. It'll be a run for the Eagles trying to get it down, and that one gets past Herrera, and it'll be a slow roller and saved by Herrera as he got back and managed to stop one of the Eagle wings who was coming back. Very dangerous for the freshman keeper. But Lovington dodges what would have been a for sure dagger. And that was Raul Morales who scored in the first half, who had almost a wide open net. No, the Eagles on the attack once again. Matthew Contreras swats it away. Now a little room for Lovington, but swatted away once again. And Tiff, there's actually nothing I can do about that in the middle of my own game. But thank you. So Hobbs ball leading by 3, trying to add to it in this cross-county rivalry. As Sanchez works it over, centering pass, and off of the legs of an intended man. If that one is about 3 inches lower, Fabian Astorga has a wide open look. Slow roller through, another shot put in, and another stop going to be made. There's a couple of good looks there for the Hobbs Eagles. As the Lovington faithful getting a little bit restless here at Wildcat Field. As Hobbs is pretty much just set up shop in the Lovington defensive zone. Now it'll be back. It's 2-on-1. Lovington looking for another shot. Coming over far side. That one bounced in and knocked away. As that was, double check that number. Turn around, young man. That way I can get your numbers. The ball comes back the other way. That was Dylan Gallegos, his third shot on goal tonight. 12th shot of the night for the Wildcats. So the Cats trying to come back. This week Gomez. Gomez sends one towards the middle. Over the head of a Hobbs player, off the foot of a Lovington player. Then we've got guys flopping and falling everywhere. As I believe that was Barunda who got tackled in the middle. That'd have been Preciado. And we should have a free kick, penalty kick from the 20-yard mark for Lovington, I'm thinking. And, yep, they'll put it right at the 10-yard line, which would be from 20 yards out. And that'll be Gallegos with the free kick. Hobbs going to just line them up and try and stop it any way they can with 17:50 remaining here in the game in regulation time. And the kick is off of the uprights. Gallegos with a great opportunity, but not able to get it down. Of course, when you've got it there, you've got to get it up high. And then see if you can get it to come down behind the line of defenders. That's the case. You're almost better the further back you are with something like that. But you take what you can get. 4-1 the score with 17:20 remaining here in regulation. It'll be Hobbs ball after the penalty kick. And Hobbs looking to basically build an Eagle house in their offensive end. They have this second half as they put 2 more tallies on the board, and we will have a collision between Sanchez and Perez. And I think the penalty kick this time will be for Hobbs. It will be. And it'll be Sanchez from the 40-yard mark. Lovington going to line up. And the kick, it's a wobbler and in the hands of Herrera, who will stop it. As the ball goes bouncing out over into the visitor stands, Lovington ball. You're Lovington here, you just work on one goal at a time. As Hobbs' defense has just stymied the Wildcat offense for the most part tonight. Lovington 13 shots on goal, but probably only about 3 or 4 of them have been real quality shots. And Lovington's defense has not been able to uproot Hobbs really from in front of their own goal. As the Let's Go Wildcat chants start here at Wildcat Stadium. Bouncing ball, still working it around. Hobbs trying to find a little bit more room to go to work again with Sanchez. Sanchez into the middle, Sanchez to Sanchez, and then into the goal and into the back of the net. And did they wave that one off? Yep, there was a stoppage before that one went in. As that one put hard on net by Alexis Sanchez, but it's not going to count. So Lovington dodging a bullet right there. As Sanchez had sent that one right into the threads. So now with 14:50 remaining in regulation, Cats trying to find some life, any life here in this second half. It's really kind of a back and forth affair. The two teams kind of feeling each other out, and then the own goal. They really deflated the Cats, and they have not really managed to get it back since then. Just made it a 2-1 game, as that'll be a bouncer. And a nice slide job as Lovington will get it and then send it away. Ray Diesel Salcido, the senior defenseman, who's got his left arm wrapped up. Of course, it's soccer. You don't really need your, not supposed to use your hands and arms unless you're the keeper. So back to Hobbs, who's looking to keep the pressure on. Coming to the near side with Sanchez. He'll throw it in from the 35-yard mark. Gets it in. As he'll move it around with Adrian Sanchez and then out. And over to the Wildcats. Wildcats have just not found the spark here in the second half. Hobbs has done a pretty nice job taking things away from him, as that one will go out. Should be Hobbs' possession. It will be. As of course, we've got 13:20 plus stoppage time remaining. Hobbs would like to get another tally on the board. Lovington would like to try and find a way to claw back into this one, if at all possible. Of course, the Wildcats, you got the 2022 4A state champs. Hobbs, you got the 2023 5A state champs. Out here on the pitch tonight, as that one will go long and out. And last touch by Hobbs. So a few of the Lovington players trying to pick the pace up a little bit. But Villalobos just will take it away, and that one squirts through. And it could be a free run at it. A long shot coming back towards the middle, and Lovington manages to come over and take that one away before the Eagles can get to it with Galindo. Then out on the Lovington bench, and it'll stay Hobbs' ball. Up next for Hobbs, they'll have a couple of days off till they take on Santa Teresa next Tuesday. Lovington will have tomorrow off, or they're right back here on Saturday morning against Clovis. Lovington just having to try and swat it out of harm's way. And do, but Hobbs will get it right back as they continue in the Lovington defensive zone. The Hobbs offensive zone has been a busy place for them, especially in this second half. Hard to wonder if there's when the mortgage party is going to be, because they have pretty much taken up residence down in that end of the field, the north end here at Brian Urlacher Field at Wildcat Stadium. Bouncer to the middle. Little fake shot. Hobbs continues to try and move the ball around. Lovington will finally get it, bounce it back out near midfield. Is Lovington now with some numbers, trying to put the Jets on, coming through, and a slide and getting it away is coming down, and knocking that one away was Salas, as Gallegos was looking for some room to run. First time pretty much in this half, maybe the second time in this half, but that they've had numbers on a potential break, but good defense for Hobbs. Into the middle, and nobody on the far side to take that one on the miss hit off of the head, and that one will go out. It'll be Hobbs' ball with 10:44 remaining in regulation plus stoppage. As Hobbs going to be content, you've got to think at some point, yeah, they'd like to get another tally on the board, but just kind of slow this one down as much as they can. And a long bouncing shot in, and that one gets away from Castanon, but it will go into the books as a save on the far side. That was Mendoza who put that in, I believe. And it does go out off of Castanon, so it'll be the corner kick for the Wildcats. A corner kick can really get things moving if you can execute it here. As Perez looks to send it, he'll send it long and high and out a little bit. Nobody really there for the Wildcats. Cats move back into the quarter field. Now up, looking for a little room, a little hesitation. That one will be sent wide as Nava sends it wide under pressure from the Hobbs defenders. So back over to the Eagles as they'll try and flip it up. Lovington trying to take it away. Hobbs, instead of electing to just sail it down, need to try and bring it up the hard way. Lovington turnover back on the 40-yard line. As inside come the Eagles, the Wildcats on the far side trying to get a run at it, sending it back towards the middle, and a shot put in and a save and a beaut by Castanon. As Gallegos puts another one on net. He has Lovington's lone tally, and he had a good look at it that time. Castanon just getting the hands on it. But a good look for the Wildcats. Now moving through, that's Preciado. Bangs it forward off the side of his foot. Lovington trying to put a little pressure on Preciado. Battles with two Eagles, loses the ball. And Hobbs going to elect just to send a long bouncer down. And they do have a man down there off of the head of Sanchez. Coming out is Herrera to take that one. So Sanchez off of the header. And Herrera comes out to make the save. So back to the middle of the field as business picks up. It's a bouncer that'll go wide off of the foot of Gamez. 7:48 remaining in regulation. Lovington got a little bit of a spark, a little bit of a run, but Hobbs is doing their darndest to snuff it out and go on another one of their own. I don't really know what the experts are seeing, but Hobbs right now, the number 9 ranked team in Class 5A. I think that is probably very low with as much of the squad that went undefeated in one state last year back. But there's a reason why I am not on those voting panels. And Hobbs has certainly played like the defending state champs against a very strong Lovington team here this evening, as a long one put in, and that one is going to be saved somehow. Sanchez puts that one in, and somehow Herrera gets the hand on it. Got it off the hand and off the crossbar. And a nice job for Herrera. And a great look for Alexis Sanchez. His fourth shot on goal tonight. He is one of Hobbs' big guns. So back towards the middle of the field. Hobbs looking for room to run. Into the middle. Turnaround shot, and that one will go wide by Gamez once again. As Herrera will trot all the way back to the fencing that rings the track. And run it out. 4-1 is our score. 6 minutes remaining in regulation. As barring a miracle out on the pitch, Hobbs will improve to 5-1. Lovington will drop to 2-4 with their third tilt of the season against Clovis coming up on Saturday. Hobbs' next shot will be on Tuesday, as they'll have a rematch with Santa Teresa, who gave them their first loss of the year and their first loss in over a year. Now Lovington trying to come on the attack into the Hobbs offensive zone. Ball goes bouncing. Villalobos gets to it and will swipe it out. Now let's see if Lovington can bring some sustained pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like they're going to have 6, 7 attackers up into the zone, as that one will go out into the Hobbs overflow bench. And should be back to Lovington as some fresh legs check in for the Wildcats. And on the throw-in into the middle of the field, Hobbs takes it away. And we'll work on eating a little bit of clock here. Is that one going to be sent wide? As off of the head. Nice job there for Salcido. And back to Lovington as they try and find a way to get back on the attack. Into the middle, but not quite ready for it, and just having to body it off and back onto the foot of the Eagles. As the bouncer. Then over near side, Hobbs will save it and keep it in with Salas. Salas to Luis Cordova, and then taken away. The Cats coming back the other way with Peyton Hernandez. Then Hobbs will take it right back at midfield. 4 minutes remaining, plus stoppage. As Hobbs will try and save it, it'll go out, but it'll be Lovington ball. So Hobbs going to send another one deep. Herrera comes out of his cage, and he will corral that one. And then send one well down the field, back out towards midfield. Lovington going to try and mount some sustained pressure. Coming into the middle, nifty little move, trying to find some room as that one will come back and loading up and firing. And does that one find the back of the net? No, it is over, and a leaping Castanon. I think he caught his head on the crossbar. So yikes. That one goes over, but a great look there for the Wildcats. You know, Castanon's okay. I believe that was Gallegos who sent another one down. 16th shot for Lovington. Injury timeout for Castanon. If Castanon were to have to come out, Azael De La Cruz would go in as the replacement keeper. But he's up, he's all right, and the ball is back in play with 2:40 plus stoppage. As the clock continues to tick, I believe it will be Hobbs' ball out near midfield. 4-1 the score. The Eagles in control of this one. And a long shot put in and right to Herrera. And Lovington back out at midfield. Hobbs trying to take it back. It'll go onto the foot of Astorga. As we have hit 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Lovington continuing to try and find and get some sustained pressure. They'd like to get another tally on the board. Into the middle of the field. Working through it is Mendoza. And then Hobbs will take it away with Gomez. Up to the middle, Hobbs can afford to just eat as much time as they want to here. Lovington just going to try and get another tally on the board because it all matters later on in the season. And when they start talking about playoffs, if you don't win the district. Lovington moving through. Cats put a long one, and that one will be out and up and over. As we click towards 1 minute remaining in regulation. And I do believe it will be Hobbs' ball. Well, they should have the freebie. Or are they calling a penalty kick? They're calling a penalty kick for Lovington. So the Cats will have a penalty kick from the 30-yard spot. So the chance to do it. And as we click into 30 seconds from extra time, and the shot is up and no good, and Lovington just a little bit dejected. Is not bad off of the foot of Michael Nava. His third shot, but hasn't gotten one to go yet as the whistle sounds, and that will do it. As we played about 30 seconds of extra time. Our final here tonight, the Hobbs Eagles defeat the Lovington Wildcats 4-1. For the Wildcats, their single goal came off the foot of Dylan Gallegos at 27:52 of the first. And for the Hobbs Eagles, their goals came at the 14:30 mark from Raul Morales. And then at the 11:59 mark from Alex Gamez. And the other two goals came courtesy at the 28:40 mark from Juan Camacho. And then at the 19:14 mark of the second by Nathan Villalobos. So the Hobbs Eagles will improve to 5-1 on the year. Lovington will drop to 2-3. Or rather 2-4 next up for the Wildcats, and we will have the game for you on Saturday. And I will double check the time. Max Prep says 11:30. I'm going to go with that. I believe my original schedule said 3, but I'll check with Mr. Murad and double check on that for sure. But we will have that for you on Saturday, no matter what time it is. Tomorrow for the Lovington Wildcats, it'll be Wildcat football from Carlsbad. Don Morgan, yours truly, on the Lovington Sports YouTube channel, HobbsAmerica.com and Z94. For the Hobbs Eagles, next up on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, it will be the Eagles taking on the Coyotes in Roswell. Ty friend Ron Gunter have the call for you on that from the gridiron tomorrow. And with that, my friends, we will put a wrap on this one. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Big thanks to all of those sponsors that you see on the bottom of your screen. We could not do it without their help and support, and we couldn't do it without you watching. So for Don Morgan, who's over at Wildcat Gym with volleyball, for Braden Cooper running the camera tonight, I'm TJ Miracle saying so long and good night. Oh, also a big thanks to Tiff and Evie keeping an eye and an ear on things back at One Radio Square. So until tomorrow on the Lovington Sports YouTube channel, I'm TJ Miracle. Have a great night. This has been an exclusive presentation of Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports.